Today is June 13th, 1984. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Mary H Umstead, U-M-S-T-E-A-D. Can I close that door just a little bit?
I'll do it.
That-
Because you don't want to pick up that noise out there in the hall.
Ma'am, where were you born?
I was born in Kansas.
Hudson, Kansas.
Hudson, Kansas, yes, years ago.
When's your birthday?
My birthday comes in January, January the 12th.
It's 1897. Your birthday is 1897.
1897.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Your birthday. When were you born? What year?
I was born well, I can't get much.
She's 102.
Would be
100,
1883.
yes.
1883.
Yeah. So you were born 1883.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Who was your father?
Calvin Harris.
And who was your mother?
Her name was Agnes Harris.
What was her name before she was married?
Her name was you get that together.
Oh, that's okay. When did you first come to Oklahoma?
Come to Oklahoma. I came to Oklahoma when I was a very small girl. I was bred in Oklahoma.
No, you wasn't.
Yes.
You were raised in Kansas because you finished high school in St. John.
Yes. Yes, and then I
So
Did-
did you finish high school at St. John?
St. John, Kansas. I finished high school. Yes.
And then you started teaching down in McAlester, didn't you?
Yes, McAlester, but that was
Well, you wasn't raised here then.
no.
St. John's High School is that in Hudson?
No. It's in Stafford County seat. St. John is the county seat of
Okay.
Stafford County.
Yes.
Mhm.
What kind of work did your father do?
He was a farmer,
Farmer.
Kansas farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did farm work. He raised wheat, corn, and
Maize.
yes,
Can you tell me about what kind of chores you did on the farm?
kind of farm.
What did you do on the farm to help your daddy?
What the kind of farm did I do?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I helped my father a lot when I was on the farm. I went on the farm and with horses and mules. Mhm.
Okay. Good. Have you heard any stories about the slave days?
Slavery.
Oh, yes, I heard stories about it. Yeah.
What
I
kind
heard stories about it, but I wasn't in it.
right. What kind of stories have you heard?
Of slave doors,
Yes, ma'am.
stories,
Of slavery, Sister.
slavery. Well, I was, my my grandmother was a slave, and
Where
and
did she come from, Sister Ashley?
from Kentucky.
What was her name?
Her name was Catherine Fletcher.
Oh, that handy. Mm-hmm.
What kind of stories did she tell you? Do you remember any of the stories?
Well, I guess I can remember a little bit about the what I went to school and learned. Yes. Yes, I was.
Was your father born in slavery?
Yes, he was born. He was very small, though.
Yeah.
Very small child.
Where was he born?
He was born. He was born in Kentucky. Yes. Paducah, Kentucky.
Now, you hold this so you won't pick at your face while you're talking.
Hold which now?
I'm giving you a piece of candy, but I don't
Oh,
want
yes, my father was born in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. My grandmother was born there long before then.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Did she ever tell you about working as a slave? What she had to do?
Yes, my grandmother was uh, house worker. She did housework. She did housework. Yes. She didn't have the ordinary slave work that most of them had.
Mm-hmm.
No,
What was the man's name that owned her?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know.
When did you start to school?
When did I start to school?
Yes, ma'am.
I started school when I was 6 years old.
That'd be 1889. Was that in St. John's?
You know, she went to school at elementary school at
Okay.
Hudson. Not Hutchinson, but Hudson. We got a little town, it's a nice clean little town called Hudson.
Where's that located? What part of Kansas?
It's still in Stafford County, but it's
Stafford County.
west.
Yes,
It's
Stafford
west,
County.
it's west of St. John. You see, St. John just off of 281,
Okay.
going straight north.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And you went to high school in St. John's, Kansas.
Yes, I went to high school in St. John, Kansas.
Was your high school an all-black school?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't black school. Wasn't very many, just a few of them, of us.
When did you decide to become a teacher?
Well, when I was about, let me see, how old was I now? Oh, about, at the time I was about 20 years old. Yes, I went to southern part of Kansas and studied for
Topeka?
teachers, yes.
Did you go to State Teachers College at Topeka?
Yes, I did. I went there to study as a teacher.
How long did you go there?
Just 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
And where a lot of them went to State Teachers College.
Have you heard of the land run of 1889?
Land drive.
A land run.
The land run in Oklahoma in 1889.
When people made the run, Sister Umstead, and staking a claim, you know.
No, but see,
You all staked your claim in Kansas.
my father staked his claim when he was quite young, and I grew up on the farm.
What kind of house were you born in?
What?
What kind of house were you born in?
What kind of house did your father have when you were born?
Born in the sod house.
In the sod house.
Sod, yes.
Do you remember how big the sod house was?
Yes, it was two
Two rooms.
rooms. Hmm.
How many people lived in those 2 rooms?
We had my mother and my father, and my grandmother part of the time.
Well, was Margaret with you too, Sister Umstead, your sister?
My sister was young, very young, and was younger than I.
Huh.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Were there any prairie fires when you were a child on the
Oh,
homestead?
yes, plenty of them.
Tell me about one. What does one look like?
It's just the people had the homes, on the prairie, and they would other times it'd just catch on fire and burn all over. Catch on fire and burn all over.
How did they stop those prairie fires? How did they put them out?
They used well, let's see now, how did they put the fires out? Water. We used water to put the fires out with.
Why did you go to McAlester to start teaching?
Well, I went to school in eastern part of Kansas, and they'd gotten away with the sod house. So you had sod houses when I was small. They did away with the sod houses and built frame houses.
And that's how come you went to McAlester?
Mm-hmm.
How did you happen to go to McAlester to teach school? How come you were in the state of Oklahoma?
Well, I was teaching. I hadn't taught school, but I went to this place that where I went to school. I took work in school, and then we left. My sister, my sister and I left. Left
Kansas.
Kansas and went to Missouri for a while. And after I stayed in Missouri a while, took work there, and I met folks there that went to school, and high school, and I took work there with them,
What part of Missouri?
and let's see now, I got to get, it's been so long I forgot the names of my school.
I think she got it kind of crossed, so it's from Topeka. And I thought she told
No.
us that she came down here to,
No, it wasn't Topeka. I did work in Topeka after
a
while, but I left. My parents sent me to Normal State School
Was
to
that
study,
was that in
and that
Oklahoma?
was in the normal school in Kansas.
Do they have
And
one in-
after I left there, I went to I met some people that I learned to know and love, and in Oklahoma.
Now, she said that she was teaching before Oklahoma was a state. I had
Yes.
it in paper, and she was there when they first opened up McAlester as a.
Yes, that's true.
Is that true, Sister Alfred?
Before it was a state, yes, I was.
You were teaching in McAlester before we had state.
Before it was a state.
Was that 1907 we started teaching?
19 and what a little earlier than that. It said, what did I say? 7?
Uh-huh.
19, yes, that's when it was, in 1907. I went to school, and then I met up with a woman that was a teacher, and went to Oklahoma.
You came to Oklahoma, because you're in Oklahoma now.
Yes, yes,
You came to Oklahoma.
came to Oklahoma. Yes, came to
Did
Oklahoma.
you come on the train?
Yes, came on the train. Yes, I came on the train.
And that was to McAlester?
But I went to McAlester, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, McAlester was my first home.
How big was McAlester at that time?
It was 16, let me see now how we get that together now. 16,000 people. 16,000 people in the city. And I went to school there. I learned to love a woman there.
What was her name?
Um, her name was McAlester.
Was she the wife of J. McAlester?
J. McAlester. Yes.
Okay, he's found the town.
You know her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is she still there?
Oh, no.
I attended.
What grade did you teach while you were there?
I taught school. I went to the eastern part of the state.
She taught more in McAlester. But what grade did you teach in McAlester?
I taught the second and third grades.
Do you remember a girl named Ruth Jones, the married name?
Ruth Jones.
Did you know any Jones in McAlester?
Let's see. I guess I did. I've forgotten her now.
No. Georgia was a McAlester girl. A friend of Miss Umstead and mine. Her mother-in-law.
I can't think what her maiden name is, though.
Let's see.
I'll have to get the...
Georgia was a glover.
Was a what?
A glover.
Glover.
Georgia was a glover.
A glover.
Uh-huh. But she's a slave now. See, she got married. She's a slave. But she was a glover.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she married Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got killed in a coal mine in Colorado. He worked in a coal mine in McAlester, and then he transferred to Colorado, and he got killed in the coal mine.
Yeah, Miss Jones' husband. I think we'd been married just a few years when he was killed in a
Coal mine.
coal mine there in McAlester.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the coal mines around McAlester?
Yes, I do. I remember some of the people who worked around the coal mines.
Do you remember the big mine explosion they had there?
Yes, yes,
I think 1917.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember when they first opened the prison in McAlester?
I remember something about when it was. I don't remember the date, but I remember that it was open there. Mm-hmm.
Can you just tell me some stories about your life in McAlester when you first went there? What you did?
I went to McAlester and entered the school. And I taught school. I think that on a very small. Well, I had a good many children.
What was
in
the name
school.
of the What was the name of the school?
Name of the school was. Well, now, how can I get that together? McAlester.
She taught at another little town, but she's at McAlester first.
Yes, I did. I taught McAlester.
First, and then she taught at another little town. She and I went to Arkansas together in the car, and we passed some Hollis or some little town out from McAlester. She says, "Sister, why I used to see you teach out here."
Yes, McAlester. I did. I taught in the school there.
But you
I had
can't remember the name of the school, your first school? Can you remember the name of the first school?
the name of the school was. Let's see, can I get that together? See, we taught school, changed schools quite often.
Was it an all-black school?
Yes.
Yes, it was. It was all that.
What'd you do for recreation in McAlester at that time?
Oh, we had school.
Did you play games?
Played games, yes, we played games. And, the young, there were, let's see, about, in McAlester, we had games, and
You didn't hold that candy in your hand?
I'll hold your hand. May I hold your hand?
not the candy, you might hold the candy, but not in it.
What did you play while you was in school, Miss Umstead?
What did you play?
Mm-hmm.
We played the same games that they play now. A lot of them.
Do you remember
No,
statehood?
you can't eat that because I didn't unwrap it.
No, it's not unwrapped yet.
That was for you to hold it.
Do you remember Statehood Day?
In Oklahoma?
Yes, ma'am, in November 1907.
Yes, I did. I did remember it at that time. I did remember it at that time.
Was there a big celebration on that day?
Yes, a big celebration.
What was that celebration like?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just don't remember.
How many blacks lived in McAlester when you first went there?
How many lived there? I don't know. I don't know how many lived there, but there was quite a number.
Did most of them go there to work in the coal mines?
Yes, good many of them went to work in the coal mines.
Don't pull out that mold. If it must bleed, let it wait till I go home.
All right.
Just leave it alone so I can sit here.
I'll hold your hand again.
All right. I'll wait.
Let me stay till it's over.
Yes, we had well, schools. I don't know how to put it now that it's been so long ago. So
Now, Sister Umstead, tell him your last school. What's the name of the last school you taught?
the last school I taught,
Mm-hmm.
my last school was taught.
Where was it? Where was it?
I'm trying to get it together now. I had so many schools.
But can you remember where your last school was?
My last school was in McAlester though.
Wasn't it at
What?
Sarah?
Oh,
Wasn't your last school at Sarah?
Sarah, McAlester.
No, Sarah.
Sarah. I guess
Don't
it
you
was.
remember Gladys Alexander came from Sarah?
I think that was it. Yes, Sarah.
She taught up there for about 7 years, didn't you?
I
Way
taught,
Way out to Sarah.
What year?
See, she taught up there 7 years. What year did you retire, Sister Umstead?
when did I retire?
Was it in 40? Was it in 40 that you retired?
Oh my, oh,
I think it's been 40, 41 or 42
40.
something, retired, because she retired long before he passed.
Do you remember World War One?
World War One.
Yes, ma'am. 1917, 1918.
1890.
When we were fighting the Kaiser.
Yes, I remembered.
Did you help the students organize any work for the war effort? Like buying victory bonds or collecting metal?
I think, I'm sure I did, yes, but I just don't remember much
Just
about
a
it.
minute, I
but I
feel
did.
that, just wait till you finish talking. You can't talk and eat, let's just talk a while.
Mhm.
You have special guests with you this evening.
Yes,
Can you tell me some more about McAlester around 1910, 1915?
can I tell more about McAlester?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we had schools, the schools there, and the oh, I can't.
Did they have the Jim Crow law in McAlester?
Did this mean that you take it out?
Oh, yes, they had it. They had it. They had it there then.
Tell me what that Jim Crow law was like.
Well, they had schools, and they were divided.
Who was Jim Crow?
All Negro teachers were Jim Crows. Yes.
Why did they use that word, Jim Crow? Where did it come from?
Where did the word come from? I don't know where the. Too young. What?
You're too young to not remember. You told me about it one day so nicely. You just have to think a little bit. See you later.
Thank you.
If you need anything, well, let us know.
Thank you.
Okay. She'll know where to find you.
We had a school about the teachers were we taught in a school, and had one well, we did manage to have one teacher to help collect the whole class. And
You know, there were a lot of Italian immigrants around McAlester.
Italian,
Yeah, they came from Italy to work in the coal mines.
oh yes, there's a lot of,
Which schools did they go to?
well, you see, I didn't know very much about that because we didn't mix at all. Mm-hmm.
So you weren't allowed to mix with the whites at all?
No.
At that time.
No, that's true.
Can you tell me some of the teaching methods you used in McAlester? How you taught your class?
Well, I guess I can. They taught the school pretty much as they teach them now. Mm-hmm.
Were the teachers more strict back then than today?
Well, let me see now how I put that now. The teachers were were strict, yes, they were strict, and yet they were easy, they minded easily.
Teachers didn't have to be as strict as they do now.
No,
Much more concerned.
no, that's true.
They enjoy going, I think.
Mm-hmm.
About how many different schools did you teach in?
What'd you say now?
How many different schools? You started in McAlester and retired from Sayre. How many schools did you have in between those two?
What did I teach in for?
You mean, how many different places, how many schools did you teach in from McAlester till you got to Sarah? You taught at Taft? Taught here?
Yes.
Taught at
My first was at McAlester.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But
And
you taught
and
Taft, she taught here, I know those.
What-
Tennessee?
What subject did you teach?
I taught primary children.
Primary.
Yes. I taught primaries. I was young too.
Do you have any questions you want to ask?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions that you want to ask?
I was trying to help I've been carrying her all over the state and everywhere so long. Well, I know a lot of things that she's already told me from time to time that she's forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, these are some things we have to consider at her age. And things, and so many things she's encountered, it's hard to go back.
Yes,
Yet
that's true.
sometimes her memory, she go back further than you give her the least idea.
Yes, that's true.
Tell me some more about your childhood. Things you did as a little girl.
When I was a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
well, when I was a little girl, we lived on the farm in Hudson, Kansas.
Can you remember some of your early Christmases?
Yes,
What were they like?
we, well, just ordinary places to be. I always had plenty of Christmas greetings and exercises for Christmas. Mm.
What kind of exercises?
I would well, exercises at school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
We had those.
You have a Christmas tree?
Christmas tree.
What kind of tree was it?
The Christmas tree was what do you call a Christmas tree? What do you call
Was it a holly?
holly? Holly.
Sometimes they use either hollies or cedars.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of decorations did you put on the tree?
Put on the tree now. What kind of decoration did we put on the tree? Well, now I've got to make a list of those kind of things. I've forgotten all those things. We had the schools were different, you know, they were separate schools.
Down at McAlester, did you know any of the Choctaw freedmen?
No, I didn't. I didn't know them.
Where did
Not very many. I'll take that back now. I'll take that back. I did know a few. Mm-hmm.
Where did the Choctaw kids go to school?
The Choctaw,
Yeah, the Indians.
they had their own school.
So that they had their own school also.
Yes, had their own school. Yes, they had their own schools.
So they had 3 separate school systems in, I guess, in the country.
Mm-hmm.
The whites, the blacks, and the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the way it was.
Mm-hmm. I imagine there's quite a few Choctaws down in there.
Oh, yeah, it's the old Choctaw Nation.
Mm-hmm. Choctaw
Mhm.
Nation.
Ever hear of a Choctaw named R.M. Jones?
R.M. Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember.
He came from Mississippi on the Trail of Tears and brought 500 slaves with him. And he lived on south of McAlester a ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
How far is McAlester from Ada?
Oh, it's, what,
Well, not too far, far.
oh, 70, 80 miles.
What schools now? This
I was asking him how far was Ada from McAlester, Ada, Oklahoma.
Ada from
Yeah, that's East Central. They have a college there.
It's a junior college
Yeah,
there.
I think that's East Central
Uh-huh.
at Ada. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a college at Durant.
Mm.
That's, I think, southeastern. I think.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I don't know. I don't think of things like I used to.
Whenever you go up to Kansas and you will see it, they have the county marked on the side of the road. When you get up there, you'll see Stafford.
Yeah.
You think it's a Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in West Kansas or is it East Central?
It's north part of Kansas. You go
North.
through Pratt.
Okay.
Now, I'm not out of Pratt. I'm looking at, you'll see Stafford County. And then on the little further going on up, then you see St. John. And then Hudson is east.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's a Stafford, because that was her hometown.
Did you
Yes,
spot? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hudson, Kansas, that was where I lived in. I lived at Hudson. I mean, that's where that was a little town, but, well, it wasn't hardly a town, but it's
It's a little village. But
little village, yes.
Did your father ever say of why he went to Kansas to homestead?
No, I don't think he did.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had one sister, that's all.
Did you ever help your father work in the fields?
Yes, I did.
What kind of work did you do?
I worked in the field. I did all kind of work in the field.
Did any plowing?
Yes, I plowed with the plow.
Did you plow with horses or mules?
I plowed with. I plowed with mules. I plowed with. What was that other you asked me?
Horses?
Horses.
Which do you prefer to plow with, horses or mules?
I don't know. I don't know. We use horses, we use mules.
How long did you live in the sod house?
How long we lived in the sod house?
Yes, ma'am. There at Hudson.
I was in the sod house while I was in the sod house from the time I was in the let's see now, how can I get that? I first lived in the I said sod house, didn't I? I said sod, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I lived in sod house from the time I was a
Well, you started school, didn't
hmm.
you? Girl. And you're just a little girl, didn't you?
Yeah, so just a very little girl. I started.
Oh,
Sod house.
the tapes from you.
Yes.
Mine might not sound it all, but
Yes, the sod house was my beginning home.
How far was the school from the sod house?
It was about a mile.
A mile?
Yes, a mile.
What did the inside of the sod house look like?
It was It was plastered inside and was white.
What was the roof made of?
Roof was made of frame.
Made of what's or something?
Frame.
Frame wood?
Wood. Mm-hmm.
What did they put on top of that? Grass or something?
No, that's called, um,
It didn't leak?
no, it didn't
I've
leak.
never seen a sod house. Have you seen a
Sod house was a house made of
Sod.
sod.
Did you
See?
help, did your father build a sod house?
Yes, my father built sod houses. See,
When did he build that sod house? Any idea?
well, he had that sod house, the last sod house was I can't say, well, when we had the school, church, we had church.
What type church was it? Methodist? Baptist? What church was it? Or just church?
Let me see now, what kind, what was it?
It's interesting when people make a run like that and having so many responsibilities, they do decide to have a religious place at the same time. That is real interesting.
That's normally one of the first things they build is church.
That's
Church
right.
and school.
Yeah,
This is necessary, but a lot of people don't think of
I
that.
know.
no, it was,
That's nice.
mhm.
Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry, I just thought when she said they built the school and the church,
Yeah.
I was wondering what church was it?
Well, I think we have a good
I've been
interview.
with her to her home,
Yeah.
and it's free up there.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, I think we have a good interview.
Well, I didn't do very good.
I think you
Good.
did pretty good.
You think I did?
Yeah?
Well, I think I did part of some of the,
Yeah, for someone that's 39 years old.
39. That's pretty nice, isn't it, Sister Thompson?
what'd you say?
Now, I'll unfasten your candy for you. You want me to do that?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She has. Oh, okay.
Well, there were two families there with sod houses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who were those?
My father and another man,
What was his name?
Robinson. His name was Robinson.
Okay. Thank you. Ma'am, where'd you meet your husband?
Where did I meet him?
Yes, ma'am.
I met him in. Met him
Him here, did you, Sister Thompson?
no,
Or do you want to keep this?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna interview the rest of these people too.
Anything?
and then old Um, well, I can't.
Well, that's okay. How long are you married?
How long was I married?
Yes, ma'am.
Was, I did, no, but got that, it's 100 and,
You were married 100 years. You had your 25th wedding anniversary when it was
Yes.
on the 10th on Market, before Market McGarrett Road. So why don't you say, was it about 35 or 40 years?
mm-hmm.
What was your husband's name?
Louis
Louis Umstead.
James. Was it Louis James or Louis, I know it, you call him Louis James.
Louis,
What was the J from? What's the J plus or something?
I don't forgot.
All right, you leave it alone then.
What kind of work did he do?
He was a teacher.
Teacher. Where was he from?
He was from the South.
Tennessee? Was he from Tennessee?
Oh, he was farther from the South than that.
Where?
What, Alabama or Georgia?
Well,
Arkansas?
no, he originally was from Canada.
Canada?
Yeah,
He was from Canada?
yeah.
You mean that?
I mean that.
What would you call that South? Canada South?
No, it's north.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Did your grandmother ever talk about the Civil War?
My grandmother,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Was a Chickasaw, and she's in class with a young man, and she had I have a roll number, and he said to her, he said, well, Joyce, where did you get that number? She said, well, my grandmother has a number. He said, well, I'd give anything in the world to have a roll number. So I don't have a number. And so Joyce, well, grandmother has a number.
We have all those on file on the Historical Society. All the roll numbers.
Mm.
Chickasaw and Choctaw.
Now,
Yeah.
I have my number now, too. And so they was all, so she said, Grandmother, I'm so glad. She said, well, what I did is made a photostatic copy.
Yeah.
And I gave my daughter. So then she made a copy and gave it to her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So then I gave my children all. I said, because I'm not going to give you the original. Because mother would pass it on down to us.
Yeah.
And sometimes things that children don't use right away, they get careless with.
Right.
Now they want to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
My mother had 40 acres because I was the youngest. So, you know, with the Indian, I don't know how it is with the others, but I think it's the same with everyone. After a child to get 6 years old, the parents were supposed to go and file a claim for that child, and he's supposed to have got 40 acres.
Yeah, if they were born before the final rolls in 1906, they got an allotment, so much land. And also, I was talking to one Choctaw freedman, and he said that when all the slaves were freed, they were each given 40 acres and a mule.
See,
the
I didn't
Indian
get that
territory.
because I had two brothers.
Well, you had to be born in slavery. You had to be freed.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh,
And that was just passed down to the family.
uh-huh. And then, see, one of my brothers got killed, and so we don't know what happened to his.
Yeah.
And the other brother sold his, but then we never did get my mother's. But then we got we're supposed to get the mill rights. I got to check, but anyway, anything that's passed down to the Chickasaw with the roll number, we are supposed to be entitled
Right.
to come in under our mother's rights.
Right. You are. Did you say that you're Choctaw?
Uh-huh.
Did you say that you're descended from the Choctaws?
I don't remember now whether I said that or not.
You said it just now.
Oh,
Do you have a number or something?
I don't have the numbers of them.